cloth?
No, the cloth ange irka.
Oh, the chairs ange.
There's one behind you. Can I use that only?
No, that is mine.
Oh, sorry.
Here.
Oh. Where is the cloth, Swamiji? Would you know?
I have no
Cloth. Table cloth.
right here. It disappears and appears.
There's one cloth here.
Hariom. Cloth.
No, mine.
Ama. Kandipa. Sunday? More than 100 rupees. எனக்கு இப்போ கிளாஸ் இருக்குண்ணா அப்புறம் பேசுகிறேன்.
There's something else. Mustard color.
शिववास्त्ररूपाय प्रदोषप्रियरूपणे
இதா இப்போ வேற ஒன்று வந்திருக்கு. விதமாக வரும். ഓക്കെ, സ്റ്റാർട്ട്. മൗനവ്യാഖ്യാ പ്രകടിത പരബ്രഹ്മതത്വം യുവാനം വർഷിഷ്ടാൻ ദേവസദൃഷിഗണൈഃ ആവൃതം ബ്രഹ്മനിഷ്ഠൈഃ ആചാര്യേന്ദ്രം കരകലിതചിന്മുദ്രമാനന്ദമൂർത്തിം സ്വാത്മാ രാമം മുദിതവദനം ദക്ഷിണാമൂർത്തിമീഡേ. വടവിടപി സമീപേ ഭൂമിഭാഗേ നിഷന്നം സകലമുനിജനാനാം ജ്ഞാനദാതാരമാരാധ ത്രിഭുവനഗുരുമീശം ദക്ഷിണാമൂർത്തിദേവം ജനനമരണദുഃഖച്ഛേദദക്ഷം നമാമി. ചിത്രം വടതരോർമൂലേ വൃദ്ധാ ശിഷ്യാ ഗുഹേ ഭവരോഗിണാം ഗുരവേ സർവലോകാനാം ദക്ഷിണാമൂർത്തയേ നമഃ. ഓം നമഃ പ്രണവാർത്ഥായ ശുദ്ധജ്ഞാനൈകമൂർത്തയേ നിർമ്മലായ പ്രശാന്തായ ദക്ഷിണാമൂർത്തയേ നമഃ. ഈശ്വരോ ഗുരുരാത്മേതി മൂർത്തിഭേദവിഭാഗിനേ വ്യോമവദ്വ്യാപ്തദേഹായ ദക്ഷിണാമൂർത്തയേ നമഃ. വിശ്വം ദർപ്പണദൃശ്യമാനനഗരീ തുല്യം നിജാന്തർഗതം പശ്യന്നാത്മനി മായയാ ബഹിരിവോർഭൂതം യഥാ നിദ്രയാ. യസ്സാക്ഷാത് കുരുതേ പ്രബോധസമയേ സ്വാത്മാനമേവാദ്വയം തസ്മൈ ശ്രീഗുരുമൂർത്തയേ. ബീജസ്യാന്തരിവാങ്കുരോ ജഗതിതം പ്രാങ്നിർവികൽപം പുനഃ മായാകൽപിതദേശകാലകലനാ വൈചിത്ര്യചിത്രീകൃതം. മായാവീവ വിജൃംഭയത്യഭിമഃ യോഗീവ യസ്വേച്ഛയാ തസ്മൈ ശ്രീഗുരുമൂർത്തയേ നമഃ. ഇദം in the last, that book, last, the whole thing is written. Is it not? Is it? It's not there? No? No? Oh. I thought they should give up. The generally gave. But paying. Turning the page is so much. സാക്ഷാത് തത്വമസീതി വേദവചസാ. ഭവംഭോനിധോ ശ്രീദക്ഷിണാമൂർത്തയേ. ചിത്രഘടോദരസ്ഥിതമഹാ ദീപപ്രഭാഭാസ്വരം ज्ञानं यस्य तु चक्षुरादिकरण द्वारा बहिस्पन्दते जानामीति तमेव भान्दमनुभाति एतः समस्तं जगत् तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बुद्धिं च शून्यं विदुः स्त्रीबालान्धजडोपमास्त्वहमिति तादृशं वादिनः याक्तिविपस्पितमहां मोहसंहारिणे तदिवाकरेन्दु सदृशः माया यो भूसुषुप्तः पुमान्
प्रागस्वाप्समिति प्रबोधसमये यः प्रत्यभिज्ञायते तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये
बाल्यादिष्वपि जाग्रदादिषु तथा सर्वास्ववस्त्वास्वपि व्यावृत्तास्वनुवर्तमानमहमित्यन्तःस्फुरन्तं सदा स्वात्मानं प्रकटीकरोति भजतां यो मुद्रया भद्रया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये विश्वं पश्यति कार्यकारणतया सुस्वामि सम्बन्धतः शिष्याचार्यतया तथैव पितृपुत्राध्यात्मना भेदतः स्वप्ने जाग्रति वाय एष पुरुषः मायापरिभ्रामितः तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये भास्वनलो निलुम्भरमहर्नादो हिमांशुः पुमान् इत्यापादिचराचरात्मकमियं यस्यैव मूर्त्यष्टकम् अन्यत् किञ्चन
सर्वात्मत्वमिति स्फुटीकृतमिदं यस्मादमुष्मिन् स्तवे तेनास्य श्रवणात्
ध्यानाच्च संकीर्तनात्
सर्वात्मत्वमहाविभूतिसहितं
स्यादीश्वरत्वं We are on the fifth verse, right? Deham pranam apindriyanyapi chalam buddhim cha sunyam viduhu. Viduhu. So Bhagavan here he says viduhu. Many people misunderstand or conclude Atma to be Deha. This is the biggest majority. I am the body, and therefore the biography of the body, the biography Any person who writes the biography begins with the date of birth, place of birth, time of birth, parentage, which clearly indicates he believes strongly that the body is himself. And this is called Dehatmavadaha. And this view is held by the majority of people. They call thoughtless. This is thoughtless mistake. And there are people who are called philosophers who have thoughtfully committed the mistake. Who are they? In our tradition, they are called Charvakaha, Lokayatakas, Lokayatikas. Okay. And many of the modern scientists also belong to that group, because they believe there is nothing in an individual other than the body. Science does not accept anything surviving after the death of the body. For them, death is the total destruction of the individual. They do not believe in a mind which can survive, because for a scientist, mind is nothing but functioning of brain. Functioning brain, emotions are neurological disturbances. Knowledge is again a change in alpha, beta waves. They explain sleep certain in terms of EEG, whatever be the phenomena. Therefore, they do not believe in the mind, they do not believe in vasanas. When they do not believe in the mind, how will they believe in vasanas? No question, they do not believe in Sukshma Shariram at all. Karana Shariram, and where is the question of accepting Karana Shariram? They will ask you the question, scientifically prove the survival of the mind. Atma, we will see later, scientifically prove the survival of the mind, and you should be knowing that psychology is not accepted as a science. It is accepted only as a pseudo-science, because physics as a separate entity different from brain is not accepted. And even if they accept, they will go by the neurology and biochemistry. And therefore, mood disorder, why it came? Some metal is less, and if you consume that, it will be all right. Again, all emotions, disorders are explained in terms of the visible physical body. The end of the body, the end of the individual. What about past janma? It is a bluff. What is future janma? It is bigger bluff. Invented by the Brahmins who wanted Dakshina through Srartham. For getting the Srartha Dakshina, the Brahmin invented Punarjanma. It is a conspiracy of Vedic Brahminism. One man writes so vehemently about Vedic Brahminism. Anyway, we don't want to get into that. Then pranam, next one, deha is that one. Now next one is pranam. There are some other people, another group of charvakas. They say anatomy is not individual, but the physiology is the individual. Physiology, the function of the body. So pranam ahamiti vibhuhu, dehamiti viduhu. Some say body is I, the Atma. Some others say prana is I, the Atma. Then the next improved person, Indriyani, sense organs are the Atma. All these come under Charvaka Matab. Groups of Charvaka, otherwise also called Lokayata Matab. Utter materialistic people. And then the next one is Chalam Buddhim. Chalam Buddhi means consciousness in this context. Vijnanam. So there are some people called Buddhist, Bauddhaha. Among the Buddhists themselves there are four groups, which we saw that in Mandukya. One group is called Yogachara Bauddhaha. They say consciousness is Atma, very close to Vedanta. And that is, many people, instead of saying Buddhism is close to Vedanta, they say Vedanta is close to Buddhism. That consciousness is subject to fluctuations. Fluctuating, fleeting flow of consciousness, like the waterfall. You see the water, but the next second, the waterfall you see is not the same waterfall. It has been replaced by another and another. So you have a seeming continuous waterfall. But there is no continuous waterfall, and continuous existence is only a changing entity. Or like a flame or like a river. Similarly, consciousness constantly comes and goes. And that flowing consciousness is Atma, is the philosophy of Yogachara Buddhists. And there is the next Buddhist, Shunyam Aham Iti Viduhu. And he argued that if consciousness is subject to arrival and departure, between the two consciousnesses, what should be there? There should be emptiness alone. And therefore, Shunyam, blankness, emptiness is the ultimate truth, in which emptiness, the consciousness comes and goes. Before arriving and departing, consciousness cannot be permanent. What is the only permanent thing is Shunyam. They are called Shunyavada Buddhism. Previous one is Yogacharya, last one is Shunyam Viduhu. And not only they have committed the mistake, they are Bhrantaha, having erroneous perception, Brahmavandaha, Adhyasavandaha. But Brishamvadinaha, we cannot hope to correct them because they are sure. Their idea is sure. They are very, very sure that they are correct and they alone are correct. As the Upanishad said, Avidyayam antare vartamanaha swayam dhiraha panditam manyamanaha. They consider that they are the wisest people and they vehemently argue. And if they are cornered, they will say Buddha said it. How can you deny? Buddha didn't say anything. How can you teach a person who wants to argue? Like that person who went to that Zen scholar and said, I want to learn something from you, and he said, I will first introduce myself. And the introduction started and continued and continued. He has gone for learning, and all the time he is talking about himself and his views and philosophy. And the Zen Guru got a cup and also a pot of tea. And he started pouring tea for that person. And the cup got filled and this Zen monk continued to pour. Then the other person asked, you are supposed to be a great scholar. Do not know that once the cup is full, you cannot pour anymore. Don't you know this? Yes, I know. I want to share this idea with you. Your cup is already full. I cannot talk or give you anything at all. Similarly, this people's cup is full. And therefore, Brisham, not only ordinary Vadinaha, Brisham Vadinaha, vehemently argue. And a wise person will not open the mouth. Just as Krishna did not open the mouth throughout the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, because Arjuna was giving a lecture to Krishna. Kulakshaye pranashyanti kuladharma sanatanaha. He is teaching Dharma Shastra to Krishna. What can poor Krishna do? He observed silence. So therefore, you are helpless, and even omnipotent God is helpless with regard to these people. And why it happened? Because the instrument which has to get the knowledge has got varieties of deficiencies. The instrument which has to get the knowledge has varieties of deficiencies because of intellectual deficiencies. And here Shankaracharya wants to convey 4 types of intellectual deficiency. Last time I had explained to you. First type of deficiency is emotional personality overpowering the rational intellectual faculty, manomaya kosha, dominating Vijnanamaya. Manomaya kosha, emotion should be there because emotion makes us a human being. Otherwise we'll be rocks. But emotion never should overpower thinking. Same thing happened to Arjuna also. Karpanya dosho bahadas svabhaha prichhami tvam dharma sambudha chetaha. And his intellect was clouded because of kripaya paraya vishtaha, attachment, etc. Kripaya, compassion. Kripaya means pity also. Overpowered with pity. Similarly, an emotional mind, when it comes to religion or philosophy, it again wants a personal God with whom he or she can relate. An emotional mind wants relationship. That is why in Vedanta they prescribe sannyasa only if you are emotionally strong. Only if you can survive without having any relationship. Somebody to tell, I belong to you, you belong to me. Without that, if one has to survive, it requires tremendous emotional strength. A weak mind wants relationship, and since all worldly relationships are problem, it wants to have a divine relationship. In the form of Krishna, Rama or Devi, and it wants to cry and wants to talk. Again it wants to continue another type of samsara in the form of religion and even in philosophy. Some of the Vedantic philosophies are such, they write commentaries on Upanishads. Still their concept of moksha is that you will go to Vaikuntha and ideally enjoy the Swami Bhritya Bhavaha in front of God. Bhagavan's lap you can lie and enjoy. Again their idea of moksha is what? A relationship of love, security. And to that mind, how can you talk of the ultimate God as ashabda, sparsha, arasam, agandaha, all these things, without taste? Who wants such a God? So, one author had written in a magazine, he praised, as I was telling you last time, Guru Ayappan. Oh Guru Ayappa, do not bring that Vedanta which makes all Namarupa Mithya, including your wonderful form. Because what does Vedanta say? All Namarupa is Mithya, that means my Guru Ayappan will be in trouble. Therefore he praised Guru Ayappan that Vedanta should not come near me. Do not bring that, because he enjoys that relationship. Lord as mother, Lord as husband, Lord as child, Lord as friend. In fact, we have got literature addressing Lord as nourishing the relationship. Vedanta tells it is wonderful, but that is not the ultimate. But this is necessary. He is not condemning that. But unless a person get into relationship, he will not know relationship is useless. He has to go through that. So, such a mind will not understand Aham Brahmasmi. And there are many people who say that I love Vedanta for study, but for all practical purposes I will keep God and keep loving Him. They love that, and I do not want to be God. I want to be near God. I do not want to be sugar. I want to enjoy sugar. If I become Krishna, how can I enjoy Krishna? So Shankaracharya says such an emotional, overwhelmed intellect is number one. Then the second is the immature intellect, undeveloped intellect, an immature intellect which does not have sadhana chatuštaya sampatti rahitaha parikshalokan karmajidan nirvedamayat brahmanaha. And therefore undeveloped intellect, earlier unreleased intellect, undeveloped intellect is the second. And the third one is intellect, however great it is, can never grasp the teaching if it is not aided by, supported by Shastra. Different object of knowledge required different instrument to enhance your power of perception. If I want to study microbe, I might have a powerful eyes, but I should be humble enough to make use of microscope. Is microscope is not enough, is enough, and the eyes are not necessary, do not ask. Both are necessary. The eyes aided by the microscope, I should not be egoistic and say that I will not use a microscope and I want to see the microbe through the naked eye. If someone says this, that is foolishness. If I want to see the farthest star, the eye should be aided by a telescope. If I want to see my own eyes, I require eyes, and also I should take the aid of a mirror. Our greatness is not going to decrease because of taking the help of a mirror. In fact, our greatness increases. Intelligence is seeking help when needed. This false greatness will not help. Similarly, just as the eyes require a microscope or telescope or a mirror, self-knowledge requires an intellect enhanced by the Shastram. Shankaracharya tells that in Gita, Shastra Acharya Samskritam Antakaranam Jnane Karanam. Shastra Acharya Samskritam Antakaranam. A mind which is assisted with Guru Shastra Upadesha alone can know, and if I do not take that help, my intellect is unaided intellect. This is the third deficiency. So unreleased intellect, undeveloped intellect, unaided intellect, and the fourth and final is a retarded intellect, which is incapable of growth. The difference between the child and the retarded is, in the case of child, potential for growth is there, but it is not yet grown up. But retarded intellect, what we mean is that person is grown up. In some cases, mental asylums and all, person is aged physically, but because of some obstruction, the growth is impossible. Obstructed intellect, undeveloped and obstructed intellect. Obstruction can be because of various physiological, psychological complexes and problem. Unnatural intellect because of Purva Janma Pratibandha. Thus, an unreleased, undeveloped, unaided and obstructed intellect cannot gain this knowledge, and for these four varieties of intellect, Shankaracharya uses four words: Stri, Bala, Antha, Jataha. So, Stri, do not mistake here as Stri as a physical form. There is a wide belief, which may be true, may not be true, that women are emotion-dominated people. I do not want to take side, do not mistake. I say that there is a wide belief that emotions are dominant in women, therefore that symbol is given. Do not bother about the symbol, you can use any other word, but what Shankaracharya wants to communicate is whether the physical body is male body or whether the physical body is female body. We are not focusing on the type of body, because knowledge does not take place in the body. But we communicate is the type of mind which is emotion dominated. And such mind will not like Advaitam, because it emphasizes a transpersonal God. And all other philosophies emphasizes a personal God. So, Shankaracharya says, once the person is non-receptive, a wise person avoids and talks about weather and walks away. Stri Balantha Jadopama. So, these three words should be taken as symbolic of four types of defective intellect, which alone can commit these mistakes. Stri Balaha Antaha Jadaha. Upama is not the fifth one, okay. These are the four types of people, but we are not interested in the physical part, we are interested in the type of intellect. And the last, we just talked about the four types of defective intellect already. So number one, intellect which is suppressed by emotion, which is a hostage of emotion, and an emotional intellect want to ultimate truth to be a personal entity. That is called theistic God. Theistic God means the ultimate nature of God they want to be as a person. And if we talk of God as Ashabdam, Asparsham, Arupam, Arasam, Attributeless God, they say, I do not want that God. I want a personal God with whom I can have nice interaction. தீராத்த விளையாட்டு பிள்ளை. Seeing as Krishna, seeing as Rama, seeing as Krishna is more, therefore emotions are wonderful. But when emotions suppress the intellect and it is not able to think logically, a personal God cannot be the ultimate truth. What is the reason? Personal means limited. The limited means located. Located means what? Limited by time and space. How can that be truth? But still some of the darshanas, like Vallabhacharya Matam, Pushti Marga, they say Krishna alone is ultimate truth, not Krishna as consciousness or anything. But Krishna as a person alone is ultimate reality. They are so vehement. One person came and argued. He was really also well built. I kept quiet. Half an hour he criticized Shankaracharya left and right. Shankaracharya has misinterpreted Gita. Wherever Krishna used the word aham, I, it must refer to Krishna. But Shankaracharya says I is Brahman. And all. It is wrong. And I was never allowed to talk. And then he said, Vallabhacharya said this and all those things. I knew that this is the first variety. So I said, argumentator, preconceived variety. Therefore, I wanted diplomatically escape. I said, I have no comments to make because I have not studied the work of Vallabhacharya. So without studying to criticize or comment is not a proper approach. When I said that, he said that I have also not studied Shankaracharya. What can you do? Very simple, and if I had criticized, he would have become more angry also. So what I am saying is that attachment to adharam madhuram, but when you say that is the ultimate truth, we are suppressing our logical intellect. Here, what is the cause of suppression? Emotional attachment to a personal God. This is called unreleased intellect, not released from what? Emotional thraldom. That is here represented by the word stri. And the next word, balaha, is undeveloped intellect. Because a bala, a child, is not capable of thinking, it is not trained, therefore bala represents undeveloped or untrained intellect. Training through tarka, logical reasoning, he has not gone through. The third word is andaha, which represents unaided intellect. Literally, the word andha means blind. And what do you mean by the word blindness here? Not using the Shastra Pramanam makes a person partially blind. If we have to know the spiritual truth, we require two eyes. One is the regular eye called the Buddhi Chakshuhu. The other eye is called Shastra Chakshuhu. Buddhi Chakshu, the eye called the intellect. Shastra Chakshu means called eye called the teaching. These two should combine for knowledge to take place. Shastra minus Buddhi useless. Buddhi minus Shastra is also useless. Without Shastra, you can arrive at the law of gravitation. They are empirical knowledge. But when we are talking about non-empirical knowledge, which we call apaurusheya vishayam, supra-sensuous subject matter, buddhi is insufficient. You require Shastra. If one of them is not there, this person becomes what? Partially blind. Both are not there, no buddhi, no shastram, totally blind. Buddhi is there, shastra is not there, then it is partial blindness. It is like if I want to see microbe, I require microscope. Imagine a person refuses to make use of the microscope and you want to see the microbe. It is impossible. Another person uses the microscope but and say, I do not see microbe at all. When you inquire, you understand his eyes are defective. So both are required, eyes as well as microscope. So now, so these people who are there, antaha, mean logician who refuse to accept Shastra Pramana. They are called antaha. Sureshwaracharya calls them anumanika chakshushaha, having only one eye in the form of logical thinking and missing the second eye of Shastra. Shastra Pramanam, they don't accept. See, without Shastra, we do not know when a karma is performed, it has got a drishtaphalam and adrishtaphalam, seen result and unseen result. This we will not be able to know. And that unseen result is in the form of punya papa. And as a result of punya papa, one goes to heaven, another goes to hell. Punyam gives you sukham, papam gives you dukkham. These aspects of life we do not know without the help of Shastra. So heaven and hell concept is not only in Bible or Quran, it is in our Shastra also, which is much before Bible and Quran. So this aspect of vasana, impression created by the action karma, these are all given by our Shastra. So that's why the Shastra Pramanam is to be accepted. Especially karma theory is very unique in Hinduism. Mandukya completely denies everything. He removes everything. That is for the ultimate goal, okay? But we are talking about the empirical world. The fourth one is jataha, means retarded intellect. Means an unintelligent intellect because of some prarabdha karma. The intellect is dull, intellect is unintelligence. So what is the difference between Bala and Jadaha? Bala is also undeveloped intellect. Jada is also undeveloped. But the difference is this person is a boy and therefore undeveloped, whereas the fourth case, physically developed but mind is still retarded. Today you cannot say retarded, right? That is very wrong word. What you should say?
Challenged.
Oh.
Intellectually challenged.
Mentally challenged.
Intellectually.
Oh, intellectually challenged. Oh, I see. My English is very old English.
Specially abled also, Swamiji.
Eh?
Specially abled.
Specially abled. Oh. What is that mean? Same thing, huh? Undeveloped, unaided, unintelligent intellect. They are vehemently argue. Deham aham iti. Then Shankaracharya looks at himself. Oh my God, somehow I am not in that group of confusion. I have got an intellect which is free from all these fourfold defects. I have got an intelligent intellect, intelligent enough to understand Brahman, and also I have got Shraddha in Vedanta Shastram, and therefore I have rescued myself, and if I could get out of this confusion, it is only because of the external aid I got. And what is that external aid? Shastra Pramanam. And therefore, I am indebted to Shastram. If Shastram could be meaningful to me, I am indebted to another person. Shastram by itself would not have spoken to me anything. If Shastram is communicating something to me, it is purely because of my Guru. In fact, Shastram is made a Pramanam by Guru alone. If Guru is not there, Shastram will be taken as another book. And once I look upon Shastram as another book, I am permanently finished. Because I will think that I have got book knowledge, but I have to realize Brahman later. Whoever says, I have studied Shastram, I have intellectual knowledge, but I have not realized Brahman, they all have improper attitude towards Shastra. And what is that improper attitude? Looking upon Shastram as a book. You should never call the Shastram as a book. You should see the Shastram as Pramanam. Pramanam means what? Understanding and realization are identical. There is no difference between understanding the Shastram and realization of the Atma. This dichotomy is there only in objective world. With regard to Gangotri, there is a book knowledge. There is experiential knowledge. With regard to mango fruit, there is book knowledge, there is experiential knowledge. In Anatma Vishayas, there is a division of book knowledge and experiential knowledge, theoretical knowledge and realization. Division only in Anatma is possible. In Atma, only Shastra Jnanam is complete, experienced consciousness. Shastram is about talking about what? Not an experienced entity. Shastram is talking about ever experienced awareness. How can there be a separate experience of awareness? Therefore, Guru plays a very, very important role. And therefore, Shankaracharya says, I am indebted to Shastram and more indebted to the Guru. And that Guru who destroyed all my confusions, that confusion destroyer Guru, I offer my prostration. And therefore, Guru is given a long title by the Shishya. And what is the title given to who? Maya Shakti Vilasa Kalpita Maha Vyamoha Samharine. That is the title of Guru. Maya Shakti Vilasa Kalpita Maha Vyamoha Samhari is the title of the Guru. To that Guru who is none other than Dakshinamurthy, my namaskaram. That is set in the third line. Maya Shakti Vrutti Vilasa Kalpita Maha Vyamoha Samharine. Whenever you get a long word, you should always travel from the right side to the left side. Temporarily, you should be like in Arabic. First, you take Samharini. My Guru is a destroyer. Samharaha means destruction, Samhari is destroyer, and the Chaturthi Vibhakti is Samharini. Samhari, Samharinau, Samharinaha. And it is in the fourth case, because Namaha, Namaskaram governs fourth case. Om Namo Narayana, fourth case, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Gurave Namaha. Vyamoha means confusion, Bhranti, delusion. With regard to what? With regard to oneself. Without understanding who am I have started life. I started LKG where I got acquainted with numbers, colors, fruits, dolls, etc. I keep on learning everything, but I never ask the question, Kastum koham kuta ayataha, kame janani kome tataha. And if we do not start our life with this inquiry, that is tragedy number one. Our life would have started with that. Second tragedy is what? We die without doing that inquiry. Because balastavat kridasaktaha, tarunastavat tarunisaktaha, vruddhastavat chintasaktaha, parame brahmani kopina saktaha. Bhajagovindam. There's a beautiful verse. As a child I was attached to toys. As a youth I was attached to my girlfriend. And when I became old, I am thinking about the past. I should have done that, I should have done this. Regrets of the past. But alas, nobody ever attached to the Lord. There is no time at all, and therefore it is a self-delusion. And what type of self-delusion? Mahavyamoha. Maha means it is a delusion which is huge, intense delusion, extraordinary delusion. And why do say it is extraordinary? Because it has started from beginningless time. Other confusion came in between and they went away. Whereas this confusion is right from the birth. It was in the previous birth, it was there in its previous birth also. And therefore, time-wise, it is big. And not only that, space-wise also this confusion is universal. Whereas if you take other confusion, I might have some confusion regarding what the Buffalo and New York, no. What is the difference between two cities? Difference is the difference between what you call distance. So confusion which I have, the other person may not have, whereas self-confusion is universal. Therefore, time-wise it is big, space-wise it is big. Therefore, Mahavyamoha. And that Vyamaha my Guru destroyed. And how did this confusion come? He is Kalpitam. Created by, caused by. Vilasa has two meaning. One meaning is the sport or play. So vilasa means play. Play of what? Maya Shakti. The power of Maya. Play or operation or sport of Maya Shakti. So thus, what will be final translation? The Guru, who is the destroyer of the great delusion caused by the play of the power of Maya. Another meaning is it is part of Maya Shakti. Because Maya has twofold Shakti, one is called Avarana Shakti, another is Vikshepa Shakti. Avarana Shakti causes ignorance, Vikshepa Shakti causes confusion. Therefore, confusion is caused by what? Not Avarana Shakti, but it caused by Vikshepa Shakti. Rope is covered by darkness. It is called Avarana Shakti. And when there is a delusion of snake, snake delusion is caused by Vikshepa Shakti. And mistaking that rope for snake is called Vikshepa Shakti. Here the Mahavyamoha is caused by Vikshepa Shakti of Maya. And such delusion the Guru destroys. And how does the Guru destroy the delusion? Guru never directly destroys the delusion. In fact, error can never be directly destroyed. Delusion can never be directly destroyed, and any error is caused by ignorance, and therefore only if you destroy ignorance, the root, the delusion will be destroyed. Delusion is a symptom, ignorance is the disease. And that is why during sleep the delusions are gone. I do not say I am the body, I do not say I am the mind. All the delusions are gone in sleep, and we experience moksha also. During sleep, we are all liberated. Even other people are all liberated from us. But why sleep is not moksha? Because sleep symptom of delusions are gone, but the disease called ignorance is still there. A symptomatic cure is accomplished in sleep, but the actual cure is not brought out in sleep. And therefore, what is required? You have to remove the disease of self-ignorance. That will take place only through what? Vedanta Shravanam. Even Samadhi is a symptomatic cure only. But all the yogis, Ashtanga yogis won't accept that, okay? You don't tell that to Mama. Mama is listening. Therefore, all the yoga people who refuse to study Vedanta and who practice Nirvikalpa Samadhi, they are practicing symptomatic cure. Therefore, in Samadhi, they experience bliss. That is, there is no doubt, and extremely happy. But unfortunately, what happens is, when they come away from Samadhi, again problem starts. That is why they say in some books, they write, bliss was so much that when I came out of Samadhi, samsara was intensely felt. and that pain is too much. It is something like getting out of the air-conditioned room. You go to the outside hot. Yeah. Same way, someone who has experienced samadhi sukham, when he comes out of samadhi, the pain is so severe that it is as though thousands of scorpions are stinging all over the body. That is why Vedanta says you need not go to samadhi. You study Shastram diligently, and instead of symptomatic cure, effect a permanent cure by right knowledge. Samadhi is emphasized in Yoga Shastram. Shastric study is emphasized in Vedanta Shastram. Nowadays, Yoga and Vedanta are mixed up in several places. We should clearly know Vedanta emphasizes Shastric study and removal of ignorance. And therefore, hey Guru, who is the destroyer of ignorance and consequent delusion, permanently I offer my namaskara to you. Okay, with that, the fifth verse is over. Deham pranam apindriyani vichalam buddhinja shunyam viduho stri balanda jadobamastuhamidhi pranta prishamvadinaha maya shakti vilasa kalpita mahavyamoha samharine tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshinamurthaye. Right in front of me, Dakshinamurthy is sitting here. Rahukrasta divakarendu sadrishaha Maya samachchadanat sanmatrakaranopasambharanato yobho sushuptapuman pragaswapsamiti prabodasamaye yapratyabhijñāyate tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshinamurthaye. In the previous verse, Shankaracharya mentioned various misconceptions. Dehatmavadaha, Pranatmavadaha, Indriyatmavadaha, Buddhyatmavadaha, Shunyatmavadaha. These are the 5 vadas or theories which are confusion caused by ignorance. Shankaracharya did not refute those theories here. He only enumerated those confusion. He said, my namaskaram to my Guru who took me, saved me from this. But he never established what is wrong in those theories, because he considered Dakshinamurthy Stotram as only the samkshepa, and therefore he did not want to get into the elaborate Purvapaksha Khandanam here. So this is more like a Shravana Grantha. It is not a Manana Grantha. Manana Grantha, in Manana refutation of other system is important. In Shravana, understanding our teaching is important. Learning 2 things are there. I should know what I say. I should know the mistakes in other theories also. When I focus on the mistake of others, it is called Mananam. When I focus on my own teaching, it is called Shravanam. Dakshinamurthy Stotram is a Shravana Pradhana. Therefore, Shankaracharya does not go into details here. Whereas Sureshwaracharya, who writes a verse commentary called Manasollasa Vartikam, It is called, he writes about 170 verses or so explaining these 10 verses. And on that Manasavallasa Vartikam, there is a sub-commentary. In that, Sureshwaracharya takes up each theory and elaborately present their theory. What is Yogachara Buddhism? What is Madhyamika Buddhism? First he presents their theory and elaborately refutes them. But Shankaracharya feels that it is not necessary here, but he adopts another shortcut method. What is the shortcut method? This is called Prathama Malla Nyaya. In Nyaya, there is one rule. It's called Prathama Malla Nyaya. Now what is that? Prathama Malla Nyaya means, suppose wrestler champion. Now, you don't have to, if you want to become the number one in the country, you don't have to fight with every individual, every state. So, who is the last champion, national champion? You defeat him. They call Prathama Malla Nyaya. Or suppose you want to become a chess champion or heavyweight boxing champion. The world leader top one. You need not go on boxing every boxer in the world. Whoever is the present champion, challenge him, and if the present champion is knocked out, I become the present world champion. In the same way, among these 5 systems or theories, Shankaracharya takes up the champion, who is the most powerful one, and that champion is Madhyamika philosopher Shunyavadaha. It is said, Deham pranam apindriyanipi chalam buddhim cha shunyam. That one. There was one great Acharya called Nagarjuna. We have got Nagarjuna Dham in Andhra Pradesh. Greatest Buddhist, one of the great logician, one of the greatest Sanskrit scholar, Nagarjuna. These Buddhist people, they follow Nagarjuna. And one of the great logicians, one of the greatest Sanskrit scholar also, who has written many Sanskrit works, who existed even before Shankaracharya. And according to the historian, it is said that Shankaracharya was so much influenced by his method that he had adopted, Shankaracharya had adopted some of the argument used by him. One of the argument is called Chatushkodi Vadaha. That Chatushkodi Vada used by Nagarjuna, Shankaracharya borrowed. Okay. Why I am saying all this thing? Because Madhyamika Buddhist is called Sunyavadi. He is supposed to be the Prathama Malla. World champion number 1. And as a champion, he had argued and demolished all other 4 theories. What are they? Dehatmavada, Pranatmavada, Indriyatmavada, Kshanika Vijnanavada. These 4 theories, the Shunyavadi has negated, and therefore he is on the stage claiming world title. So Shankaracharya has to only knock out the Shunyavadi. Therefore, the 6th verse is the negation of Shunyavadi Buddhism. The 6th verse is the negation of Shunyavadi Buddhism, which says emptiness is the ultimate truth. And therefore, the truth of the world is what? Emptiness. And therefore, what is my truth? Emptiness. That is why I feel empty all the time. Therefore, who am I? Empty. Shunyam. So I am Shunyam, means I am nothing. I am non-existence is this theory. Shunya means what? Zero. Zero means what? Non-existence. That is why in Panchadashi, which is a beautiful work in which Vidyaranya makes a funny argument. He says, O Shunyavadi, I need not negate you at all because you yourself say I am non-existent. That means I do not have an enemy at all. Therefore, why should I negate you? Purvapakshi being abhavaha, why should I argue against you? For saying I am empty, there must be some reason for the Shunyavadis. Who is saying this, I am Shunya? There must be some basis to say that I am nothing or Shunyam. And what is the basis for them? Deep sleep state is the basis because in deep sleep state I do not experience Triputi. The subject is not experienced, the object is not experienced, the instrument is also not experienced, the world is not experienced, object is not there, the instruments are not experienced. Means what? Mind is not experienced. Mind were there in deep sleep, emotion would be there. And buddhi is not experienced. If buddhi were there, all my knowledge would be active. In sleep, I do not experience any knowledge. Then memory is also not experienced. In sleep, memory is not there. Whereas in dream, memory is active. Very careful, in dream, memory is active. In sleep, memory is also not experienced. Manaha, buddhi, chittam. These three are out. Then what about ahankara? Even ahankara, the individuality, I as a subject is also not experienced. Neither I thought is there nor I word is there at the time of sleep. Nobody feels. Nobody feels, I am sleeping. நான் தூங்கிட்டே இருக்கேன். Sleeping, nobody feels. He may refer to the sleep later. But during the sleep, nobody is aware of himself as a sleeper also. That is why in Mandukya Kariga, Natmanam na param chaiva na satyam na. Satyam napi cha nirtam pratnya kaschana pratnya kinchana samveti. In sleep, neither Atma nor Anatma, nothing is experienced. And therefore, Shunyavadi says emptiness is the adhishthanam. And the Triputi is born out of emptiness. This Triputi is born out of emptiness, this is argument. Now Shankaracharya has to establish the deep sleep state is not emptiness. That is being done in this verse. Which we'll see next class. So Rahu Grasta Divagarendu Sadrishaha, that is the one. We'll see next class. Okay? Enough for today. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Sixth verse, seventh verse, and eighth verse. 3 verse only. Balance. 9 and 10 is very easy. Not too much of philosophy there. So before summer vacation we should finish, right?